Rain hit the broken tin roof like bullets. It wasn't the gentle kind of rain that made you feel alive, it was the kind that made you feel small. Cold. Forgotten. Inside the tiny, collapsing cabin on the outskirts of town, Jack Harlow, a former Marine, sat on the floor beside a flickering lamp, wrapping his shivering daughter, Emily, in a torn blanket. Her cheeks were pale, her lips trembling, but she still smiled when she saw him looking at her. "Daddy," she whispered, "is tomorrow gonna be sunny?" Jack smiled weakly, even though his chest ached. "Yeah, baby. Real sunny. You'll see. The kind of day when flowers open and the world smells new." But he didn't believe it. There hadn't been a sunny day in his life for months. Ever since he lost his Marine pension due to a bank's technical adjustment, everything fell apart. His truck was repossessed. His business loan was cancelled. He had sold nearly everything, just to keep food on the table. And now even that table was gone. The storm outside howled, the wind sneaking through every crack like a cruel ghost. The sound of thunder echoed through the valley. And then, a distant roar. It wasn't thunder this time. It was engines. Many of them. Jack stood, peering through the cracked window. Headlights, dozens of them, moved slowly through the rain, approaching his cabin like a convoy from another world. His pulse quickened. Motorcycles? And then he saw her. At the front of the line, under a blinding flash of lightning, rode a tall woman in black leather, her long red hair whipping in the storm. She had confidence written in every motion, power in every breath. Behind her followed 20 women, each astride a roaring bike, chrome glistening with rain. They looked like a storm within a storm. Jack grabbed the door handle just as the lead rider pulled up. She took off her helmet. Rain dripped down her face, tracing her cheekbones like silver threads. Her eyes, sharp yet soft, met his. "We need shelter," she said, her voice steady despite the cold. "Please." Jack blinked, still trying to process what he was seeing. You all need shelter? Out here?" "We've been on the road for hours," she said. "We're soaked and freezing. Your lights were the only ones we saw." Behind her, the other women shivered under the rain, clutching their bikes and packs. Some looked exhausted, others injured. Jack saw one woman coughing, another holding a bruised arm. Something inside him stirred, that same instinct from his years in the Marines. The part that refused to let people suffer while he stood by. "Come in," he said quickly. "It's not much, but it's warm." She gave a brief nod and motioned to the others. Within moments, the cabin was filled, laughter, shivers, wet boots, and steam from damp clothes. Jack lit the fireplace and handed out what little food he had, canned beans, dry bread, and a bit of rice. He split it evenly among 20 strangers. One of the women stared at him. Disbelief. "You're giving us your last food?" Jack shrugged. "You're freezing. Marines don't eat until their team's fed." The red-haired woman watched him carefully. Her name was Mara Voss, though he didn't know it yet. To the outside world, she was a renowned CEO, owner of Voss Industries, a leading motorcycle design and security tech company. But she wasn't here for business. She was running from something. Something big. The women whispered to one another as Jack handed out blankets. Emily peeked from behind her father's arm, her big eyes curious. "Daddy, are they soldiers too?" she asked softly. Mara smiled gently at the girl. "Something like that, sweetheart. We fight too. Just, different wars." That night, the storm raged on. Jack fixed the broken door using scrap wood, Mara helped by holding the board steady, her gloves slick with rain. They didn't speak much, but there was something powerful in the silence between them. When the last woman fell asleep by the fire, Jack finally asked, What brings 20 bikers out here in the middle of nowhere? Mara hesitated, eyes flicking toward the window as if expecting someone to appear. We were headed west, she said finally. Trying to escape a trap. My company was under attack, a rival firm hacked our systems, took control of everything. My name, my accounts, my reputation. They're trying to ruin me. And these women, she looked around the room, they're my people. My engineers, my guards, my family. I had to protect them. Jack nodded slowly. So the storm isn't the only thing chasing you? Guess not, she said, with a half smile. What about you, Marine? Why's a man like you living out here with nothing but rain and silence? Jack looked into the fire. Because sometimes life fights back harder than the battlefield ever did. For a moment, they both just sat there, two survivors of different wars, connected by quiet pain and unexpected trust. Outside, lightning split the sky again. And through that flash, Mara saw something that made her freeze. A black SUV parked down the dirt road, headlights off. Men in suits stepping out. Get down, she hissed. Jack instinctively grabbed Emily and dropped to the floor. The window shattered a second later, a bullet slicing through the night. Chaos erupted. The women scrambled for cover. Jack rolled toward his old rifle under the bed, chambered a single bullet, and took aim. Who are they? He shouted. Corporate hunters, Mara growled. They want the data drives we stole back, evidence of what they did to us. Jack fired once, shattering the SUV's front light. The attackers ducked. Mara grabbed her helmet and barked orders to her team. Leona, cover the west side. Tasha, get the girls safe. Move. Jack's old instincts took over. He moved like he was back on the battlefield, shielding Emily, helping Mara coordinate. The cabin became a fortress of unity, strangers turned soldiers. Mara stood near the doorway, soaked and trembling, staring at him. The way he'd moved, fearless, selfless, reminded her of the people she trusted long ago, before the world became greedy and cruel. You just saved our lives, she said softly. We owe you everything. Jack shook his head. You don't owe me anything. Just, survive. That's payment enough. But Mara didn't look away. In her eyes was something deeper, respect, curiosity, maybe even the first flicker of admiration. The firelight danced between them, reflecting the scars of two people who had lost everything, but somehow, in the middle of a storm, had found each other. As the night grew quiet again, Jack looked around at the 20 sleeping women in his small cabin. He had nothing left to give, no money, no home worth mentioning, yet his place had become a sanctuary. And he realized something. Maybe this wasn't just an accident. Maybe the universe was giving him a reason to stand again. Mara turned back to him one last time before dawn. We'll rebuild what they took from us, she said quietly. And you, Marine, you're part of this now. Jack didn't know what she meant yet. But deep down, he felt it, the start of something extraordinary. A bond forged in fire and rain. A team that would shake the world. And maybe, just maybe, bring the sun back to both their lives. The storm had passed, but its memory clung to everything, the trees, the ground, even the air itself. The morning light crept over the horizon, pale and hesitant, like it was afraid to touch what the night had broken. Inside the cabin, the once quiet Marine's world had changed. The smell of coffee filled the air. The 20 women, bikers, engineers, fighters, survivors, were already awake, repairing their bikes and tending to wounds. For the first time in months, Jack heard something he hadn't heard in his home for too long. Laughter. Emily was sitting on a small stool while one of the women, Riley, braided her hair. You're a brave little soldier, Riley said. I'm not a soldier, Emily giggled, I'm just Daddy's girl. Jack smiled faintly, wiping grease from his hands as he repaired a broken rifle stock. He looked up when Mara stepped outside, now dressed in dry clothes, her red hair tied back, a faint smudge of dirt on her cheek. Even in simplicity, there was power in her presence, the kind that didn't need to be announced. "Morning, Marine," she said, sipping from a dented mug. "Sleep much?" "Haven't done that since Fallujah," Jack replied, half grinning. Mara smirked. "Guess neither of us know how to rest." They stood in silence for a moment, watching the sunrise. Behind them, the others started packing. "You're really leaving?" Jack asked. Mara hesitated. "We can't stay long. Those men will come back, and next time they won't just shoot to scare us." Jack's jaw tightened. "Then let me come with you." Mara turned sharply. "What?" "I'm not letting 20 women ride into danger while I sit here useless," he said. "You said your company was attacked, that they stole your systems. I used to handle logistics and security systems for the Marines. I can help you rebuild. Protect you." She stared at him for a long moment, studying the man behind the worn eyes. Then she nodded once. "You're in." And just like that, a broken Marine became part of something bigger again. They rode out that afternoon, 20 bikes and one old pickup truck carrying Emily, their supplies, and Jack's determination. The wind hit hard, but for Jack, it felt like freedom. For the first time in years, he wasn't running away, he was chasing something. Their destination was an abandoned factory 2 towns away, one of Voss Industries' forgotten facilities, now their only hope of rebuilding the company. The building stood silent and cold, vines crawling up its walls, windows shattered, dust thick as snow. "It's perfect," Mara said, stepping out of her helmet. "Nobody will find us here." The women immediately went to work. Tools clattered, metal sparked, and the place came alive with motion. Jack helped install reinforced locks, repaired electrical panels, and even built makeshift beds from scrap. Emily ran around handing out bolts like she was part of the team. "You sure this will work?" Jack asked that night as they sat near a small campfire outside the factory. "It has to," Mara replied. "We can't let them win. They stole our code, a prototype that could save lives. Motorized rescue drones designed for disaster zones. We were weeks from launching it when they shut us down." Jack raised a brow. "Rescue drones?" She nodded. "Fast, powerful, self-guided machines that could deliver aid in minutes after floods or quakes. The government wanted it. The investors did too. But my rival, Damien Core, hacked our servers, made it look like we were sabotaging his company. We lost everything overnight." Jack leaned forward. "Then let's take it back." Mara's eyes met his. "You mean that?" "You saved me and my daughter when we had nothing," he said. "Now it's my turn to save you."